Today we discuss about the concept unit number 3rd of security analysis and portfolio management. The unit name is capital market theories. So this is the unit number 3rd. So in this unit we want to discuss about the concepts of, as per the syllabus of Rani Chennamma University, as security analysis portfolio management under unit number 3rd. These are the contents are there. In this content we want to discuss capital market theory, assumptions of CAPM, that is we know about capital asset pricing model. Next component, efficient frontier with riskless lending and borrowing, capital market line also called CML, security market line also called SML. Then another theory, that is APT, that is arbitrage pricing theory, and some of the limitation of arbitrage pricing theory models. Okay, so in this PPTs we want to discuss about how this theoretical portion of as a part of CAPM. So let's discuss about the concepts, where the unit name is capital market theory. What exactly capital market theory talks about is nothing but it will be predict the progression of capital market over a time on the basis of one or the other mathematical models. So what exactly this capital market theory talks about, that using various techniques to predict our capital market, and this theory is generic term of the analysis of securities also. So apart from that, this theory deals with specifically various other segments. Basically we are talking about that this theory deals with importance of venture capital in capital markets, basically in the venture capital, how capital market theory deals with. Next, IPO, that is initial public offerings. Next, role of capital market in worldwide, how capital market role is there as a worldwide, how it is impact to the various countries. Then market and financial innovation in derivatives instruments. So what are the new financial innovation has been taken place that also help to the capital markets. And apart from that, various role has been played by capital market theory under Federal Reserve Systems, role of securities as a regulatory requirement, and lastly as a role of government treasury also. So these are the various role, or maybe this theory has been focused upon that. So basically these capital market theories will focus mainly the most important topic that will be discussed on that unit number 3rd, that is CAPM model. CAPM model we also call that is capital asset pricing model. It is a theoretical description of the way in which market price investment assets. Okay, so it is only the theoretical distributions, the way in which market price investment assets, and this theory is a positive theory, and this model emphasizes on risk factor of portfolio theory of two kinds of risk will be involved, that is systematic risk and unsystematic risk. So basically this CAPM model will focus upon that a combination of portfolio will be based upon two types of risk, that is systematic risk and unsystematic risk. Okay, so what overall this model will talks about, where model suggests that security return is directly related to systematic risk, which cannot be neutralized through diversification. So this is the overall pictures of CAPM talks about, that is whatever your securities return is generated is directly related to systematic risk only, and which cannot diversify with the help of that is portfolio combination. Means systematic risk only the responsible to generate the your security returns. So what is systematic risk is? Systematic risk is the risk which is caused due to the external factors, that is due to market or due to other factors also, and the combination of both the types of risk which cannot provide the total risk. The total variance of return is equal to market related variance plus company specific variance. That is, we'll talk about CAPM. Further, CAPM explain basically behavior of security price and provide mechanism where investor could assess the impact of proposed security investment on the overall portfolio risk and returns. Means overall CAPM will talks about how the securities behavior and their mechanism for the investors and the impact of overall portfolio risk and return can be generated. It also suggests that prices of securities are determined on such a way that risk premium or excess return are proportional to systematic risk, which is indicated by the beta coefficients. Means whatever the prices of securities can be determined in the way of that is risk premiums. Risk premium means that is the where we include about that the return can be generated above the risk free assets. So that is risk premium or excess return are proportional to systematic risk, which can be indicated by beta coefficient. So overall, your systematic risk can be measured as a statistical tool beta coefficient as per the CAPM model. Then this model has been based upon some of the assumptions. How this model will be based upon some of the assumptions? This assumption, it is maybe based upon to the first is a investor point of view. What assumption is number one? Investor first assumption, it is that investment goals of investor are rational. Okay, they are always wanted the more returns at a less risk. Their objective is to maximize the utility terminal wealth. Their choice is based upon risk and return on a security, and they have homogeneous expectation of risk and return over an identical time horizons. So these are the assumptions as a individual investors. Means investor goals to the as an irrational, you want always more return, less risk. Intention is to maximize his utility. The choice is based upon the risk and return securities, not by the other activities point of view. And the homogeneous expectation. Homogeneous means where we include about that is the similar securities may be available at the identical time. So these are the assumptions of to the investors, whereas some of the assumption to the market point of view. This theory has been based upon that is information is freely and simultaneously available to all investors. That is, we are knowing about that is the market should be in a perfect competition. Perfect competition means information will be freely available and to the each and every investors. Then numbers next, capital market is not dominated in a by any individual investor. Means for examples, no single individual investor, he can buy any shares, cannot make that impact of your stock markets. Means if Mr. X purchased 10 share in a BSE stock markets, his purchase of 10 shares or selling of 10 shares cannot affect the entire BSE or maybe NSE. So that is the overall assumption of the market, that is capital market is not dominated by any individual investors. Investor can borrow and lend unlimited amount at the risk-free rates. So here, as we knowing about information is freely available, means the market is perfect competition, so that investor does not have that any limit to can borrow or lend. He can borrow and lend unlimited amount of risk-free asset. Risk-free rate means the assets or the investor's security which has having 0% of risk compared to that is your other available securities. For example, your treasury bill rates, government security bills, any things that government will be assured about that changes of markets will not be impact of that return. So that will be considered the risk-free rate of return securities. Next assumption, there will be no tax, then no transaction cost, restriction on short-term rates, or other market will be imperfection. So these other assumptions. And overall last one, that is total asset quantity is fixed and all assets are marketable and divisible. Means your assets are quantities fixed in there as per the market performance, and all assets are marketable means it is dealing in the your stock market only, it will be divisible. So these are the assumptions of your stock markets. Now how this assumption will be useful in a real pictures, that will be considered regarding that CAPM. The more risk you carry, the greater the expected returns. As we know about that, if you want to have more money, then you have to take more risk. So that agenda or that the theories what CAPM will talks about, where the formula of CAPM will be there, where we denoted as expected return is equal to RA plus beta in bracket C market return minus risk-free returns. So that will be the formula, that is ER denoted as your expected return on security I is equal to RF denoted as risk-free rate of interest plus beta. Beta will measure regarding systematic risk in bracket E in bracket RM, that is your market return, expected market return minus risk-free rate of returns. Means overall this formula will talks about that your individual security return will based upon your risk-free asset plus whatever return we generated, risk-free asset plus compared to systematic risk, that is beta value will measure with the market performance minus risk-free assets. So whatever return we generated, that will be your expected rate of return as per CAPM model, that is capital asset pricing model, that talks about the more risky you carry, the greater the expected return will be taken place. That's why this formula will be used when we calculate regarding that practically how the expected return will be generated as per the CAPM model, that is expected return is equal to risk-free rate of return plus beta in bracket market return minus risk-free rate of return. So this is what the formula we are going to use as CAPM. Then comes to what are the benefits we generated where we are following CAPM in the capital market theories. So that first benefit will get as an investor can estimate the required rate of return on particular investment in company's securities. So you can estimate that how much return we generate for a particular investment with the help of CAPM model, because CAPM model will explain how the security return will generate as compared to market return as we generated to the risk rate of returns. Second, investment in risky project having real asset can be evaluated its worth in view of expected returns, because as we know about that individuals cannot affect to the entire market. So investment in risky project also help to know that CAPM. Next, another one, it analyzes the riskiness of increasing the level of gearing and its impact on equity shareholders return also, because CAPM talks about that how much more risk we taken, that much return we generated. So it will be impact on the equity shareholders return also. Another important benefit, that is it suggests the diversification of portfolio in minimization of risk. Means instead of carrying more securities, that he suggests to diversify his portfolio in the minimum risk also. So these are the benefits of CAPM. As we know about that any concept as having some of the benefits, so it will have the limitation also. So what the limitation is there as a CAPM will be there. In real world, assumption of CAPM will not hold good, because as we know about that in practical, in real world this assumption will not work out. That is perfect computations, then when we consider that investor want more returns, it based upon market performance all thing. So that time these assumptions in real world assumption of CAPM will not be hold good. Another one, in practice it is difficult to estimate risk-free rate of return, market return and risk premium also. Means in a theoretically we can do, but in a practice, in a daily basis of practice, it is very difficult to manage the risk-free rate of return, market return and risk premium. And ultimately CAPM is a single period model. While most projects are often available only large individual project, it is therefore more difficult to adjust in a large point of view. So it will be having that some of the limitations of your CAPM model, that is capital asset pricing models. Now after completing of CAPM models, now another two components are there as per your syllabus, that is two important line, graphical lines, that is one security market line and another one your capital market lines. Now we discuss about the concept, that is security market lines. What security market line talks about? It shows the relationship between risk measured by beta and expected returns. Means what security market line talks about, what is the relation between your beta and expected returns. Beta means, beta is the statistical tools will measure systematic risk. So systematic risk will be arise due to market factors, and expected returns means this line shows about graphically how the relation of individual security to the market performance, and that graphically of CAPM can be represented with the help of security market lines. So SML or security market line, it is one of the tools will represent your CAPM model as a graphically. That is, the model states that stock expected return is equal to risk-free rate of plus risk premium obtained by price of risk multiplied by the quantity of risk. Means whenever we get the return as per CAPM model, we want return as risk-free rate plus risk premium. Means how much risk we generated, how much risk we taken, that much risk we can get with the help of that is risk premium. That is risk premium is above that your risk-free rate of returns. Then this CAPM is a line of, we'll talk about the graph which exhibits relation with risk and return of securities. That is CAPM can be represented graphically with the help of security market line, and this line begins with the risk-free rate and moves upward to the right side. Always security market line will not move, it begins with 0 axis, it will begins on the risk-free rate of return and moves upward to the right side, not for the left side. As the risk of investment increases, it is expected that return of investment would be increased. Obviously, as CAPM talks about that, how much risk you take, that much return can be generated. So as per that, as the risk of investment increases, means how much risk we take on plus, that much expected rate of return will be increases. And the measure of risk used by the security market line is beta, that we talk about. That is security market line will talks about the relationship between your risk and return of security. That is risk will be market line, that is risk will be measured in the beta and return can be measured in the expected returns. So we'll discuss about how graphically security market lines will talks about. See, in the OX axis that will represent, that is risk element. Risk will be measured by security market line as a part of beta. So we'll take on about the OX axis beta measurement where beta will be there, and OY axis will measure about, that is expected returns, maybe include your market return also. And see, the line will be that the line which begins on the not zero axis, it begins on the risk-free rate of return. So it will move from upward to right sides. So how much risk we take, that much return we generate it as per the performance of your security market line as per the CAPM models. Then how the security market line formula will be then? Same formula as we are using, that is CAPM also, because security market line is a graphical representation. So to determine security market line, we can use CAPM model only, that is RI is equal to RA plus beta in bracket RA minus RF. That is rate of return of security is equal to return on risk-free securities beta return on market. Here risk-free security means what kind of risk-free security will be there? The risk-free securities are though, that is treasury bill, any government security bills, RBI issued any kind of securities where the government has given the assurance. If you invest on that securities where the 0% of risk will be involved, anything changes in the market will be ups and downs, that kind of security purpose will get the fixed rate of interest. So that will be included as a risk-free securities. So what CAPM talks about, that is if you want a return, that return should and must generate to above portion of your risk-free asset only, that compared to beta perform, that compared to market risk. That is if we are taken about the expected return, that is if the risk-free rate is 6%, if the beta is 0.1 or maybe 0.8%, 0.8 and the market return is 14%, so your return should be more than your risk-free rate of return. If RF is 6%, then return should be more than 6% compared to how much risk you taken place in the capital markets. Then what is the evaluation of security market line? See how we can understand that the stock market will be underpriced, correctly priced or overpriced. We'll take the example about, that is actual return. Suppose above security market line is there, that will talks about stock is yielding a higher return than what can we expected. Means if your return should be above security market lines, means it will generate above security market line to the compared to actual returns. Okay, estimated return to actual return, if it is above security market line is there, that we can denote it as a underpriced. Then on security market lines, if your actual return is on security market line, the stock is yielding return equivalent to can be expected correctly priced. And if your actual return is below security market line, stock is yielding lower return than what we expected, so that will denote as a overpriced. So here we can compare about overpriced and underpriced activities compared to actual return and expected returns. If your actual return and expected return is more or less or maybe equal, so we'll determine about the situation of your taking the decisions of buying, selling, and you don't buy to hold these stocks. Okay, overall security market line express the basic theme of CAPM. Individual and portfolio security will also placed on the security market line also. So overall SML express the basic theme of CAPM. So what's basic theme of CAPM is that it can be graphically represented with the help of security market line. Both here individual and portfolio security also placed by the security market line. Then another important line is there, we discuss about capital market theory, that is capital market line. Now this capital market line we also call your CML, that is it is a fully diversified investor that is able to invest in market portfolio and lend or borrow at the risk-free rate of return. The alternative risk and return relation can be generated place in the market lines. So what CML talks about? It is the line on portfolio graph which exhibits relationship between risk and return of portfolio. This is very much important. Here individual return and portfolio risk and portfolio relation is there, no other relation. The line begins with the risk-free rate of return with zero risk and moves upward to the right sides. Same thing, SML also will move from risk-free asset, CML also move from risk-free rate of return. As the risk of portfolio increases, it is expected that return on portfolio will also increase. This means how much risk you are taken as a portfolio combination, that much return can be generated. As talk about that is CML, that is capital market lines. This will talks about your capital market line, and capital market line, see the relation will be the relationship between portfolio return and portfolio risk. So instead of taking in individual securities, they are going for portfolio combinations, and OI-axis they will be represented that is standard deviations. In the security market lines, where OI-axis will talks about beta, because there we compare about market performance. Here we compared about portfolio return and portfolio risk. So portfolio risk will denoted as your standard deviation on OI-axis. OI-axis expected rate of returns, market performance is there, and it begins on your as a performance that is risk-free rate of return and upward move on the right side only. Now how the equation of security capital market line here will denote that the relation will be that capital market line expected return is equal to RF plus slope of standard deviation of P. That is, slope of standard deviation of P is denoted as RM minus RF divided by standard deviation of markets. Means return on portfolio will generate with the help of return on risk-free security, risk of efficient portfolio, market returns, and standard deviation of market. Means capital market line talks about the relationship between portfolio return and portfolio risk. Now if you want portfolio return, expected portfolio return is if you want, then we can generate portfolio risk. You can take more portfolio risk, that much portfolio return can be generated, as the line talks about capital market line RA plus slope of standard deviation of P. Slope of standard deviation of P denoted as your RM minus RF divided by standard deviation of market. That will denote it as a slope of standard deviation of P. We also call market, that is your risk of efficient portfolio. And see here the risk can be measured in the standard deviation only, where the security market line risk can be measured in the beta coefficients. Then what is the difference between both the lines, that is security market line and capital market line? As we discuss about both the lines are that CML and SMLs. So we will go for first component, risk considers how the risk will be there. In the security market line, in the capital market line, it uses standard deviation, that is total risk across the x-axis. That is, risk can be measured in the standard deviation in the capital market line, whereas the security market line, the risk can be measured in the beta component, that is systematic risk, because capital market line talks the relation between portfolio return and portfolio risk, but the security market line talks the relationship between the beta and expected rate of returns. This is the first major difference, where the risk can be measured in standard deviation, risk can be measured in beta. Number second, nature of portfolio. It uses only efficient portfolio. It uses both efficient and non-efficient portfolio. Means what exactly the portfolio return and risk will be there? No efficient way you can use. Here security market line will use both efficient and non-efficient. Next, another combination. Every point on the capital market line is proportional combination between risk-free rate of return and market returns. But as a case of security market line, it graphs all portfolio and security which is on and off the capital market lines. Means in the combination of capital market lines only takes risk-free rate of return and market return. Apart from that, no other return can be generated. But here in the security market line, all portfolio and security, because here we discuss about market risk, systematic risk. So we will take all the risk and returns. Here they taken about risk-free rate and market return. So these are the major difference between capital market line and security market line. Then another important line it is there for as a discussing about your capital market theory, that is characteristics line, or characteristics line will talks about. It is a graph depicting the relationship between security return and market index returns. This is very much important. So individual securities and the market index returns, means BSE or NSE returns. So it is nothing but security characteristics line in a time series graphs. Basically how the relation of individual security compared to market index returns. So that is BSE, Sensex, NSE, that is Nifty. So what is the relation of individual security returns to market index returns? Means we taken the example, for example, Sensex relation to the individual security returns or Nifty relation to the security returns. So that relation can be represent as with the help of that is characteristics line. Then return considered for this excess return is expected return over and above the risk-free rate of returns. So always your return on relation of individual return and market index, it should be over and above your risk-free rate of return only. So how the things will be there? What is the purpose of characteristics line will be there? The purpose is security market line is used to estimate beta and also try to determine how security return correlate to market index returns. And the beta also we are going to be used. Estimate comes about the slope of estimate of this security characteristics line. The purpose is estimate the beta because we want to be find out the relationship between individual return and index returns. So we should be estimate the beta and also determine how the security return correlates with the markets, means how market returns and individual returns will be considered, how it is the relation is there. That purpose characteristics line will be exist, and the risk can be measured in the beta, that is beta estimates come the slope of security characteristics line, how the systematic risk will affect to the market index to the individual return index. Then what ultimately we can come to know about this CAPM model or capital market theory. The situation will talk about that valuation of portfolio and securities. We should be very much important on this concept of this table. Situation where if CAPM is less than your, as per the CAPM, it means your expected return is less than, sorry, CAPM model return is less than estimated returns, then it will talk about undervalued security, means you should buy the securities when it is possible, when your expected return is less than estimated return. That times the securities are undervalued and you should take the decision of buying the shares. If your CAPM return is equal to estimated returns, then correctly valued securities you can hold the security, means that situations either you cannot go for buying, you cannot go for selling activities. And if CAPM return is more than estimated returns, then the securities are overvalued, then you can take the decision of selling activities. This table is very much important as an exam point of view, where the practical questions they are going to be asked on this kind of activities, where how the CAPM return we are going to be calculate. CAPM return we can calculate as a CAPM formula. So CAPM model, if it is less than estimated return, you can buy. If it is equal, hold. If it is more than, you can sell that activities. So this is overall pictures about how this capital market theory and CAPM will talks about to taking decision of buying, hold and sell that activities. And overall we has to be knowing about that the summary of this concept today's we discuss about, that is capital market theories and CAPM model. One more model is there, APT model, that I will be covering in the next videos. But today's videos we can consider, today's class we can understand the concept, that is how the CAPM model is there, and two line important and another important characteristics line. CAPM model talks about the relationship between individual expected returns and beta, and that risk can be measured with the help of that is beta. And there will has to be very careful to be understand the risk will be, risk can be two types of risk, systematic and unsystematic risk. And CAPM model it is will be RI is equal to RA plus beta in bracket RM minus RF. Then security market line as a graphical representation of CAPM model. Capital market line show the relationship between in portfolio return and portfolio risk. Another important things, characteristics lines, that will talks about the relationship between in security return compared to market index returns, and ultimately how we can take the decision when the investor should take the buying decisions, hold the decisions and sell the decisions. So that we has to know about, that is capital market theories and your CAPM model as per the syllabus of unit number 3rd. So here we end up with the concepts of theoretical perspectives. In next coming class or next videos, I'm going to be explaining about the problem parts, how this buying decision, hold decisions or selling, or how the beta can be calculated, systematic risk can be calculated, what is the relation of market return and security return will be there. In the coming slides it will be going to be explained. So next class will go for as a part of problem parts. Okay, thank you.